Okay, great. So here we are with the, so it's going to be student support and supplementary classes offered by us at Literacy Pittsburgh. We did introductions. I didn't think we needed to record that for everybody to watch, for the next few years. So one thing that I'm going to be showing a lot, I'll be toggling back and forth between my slides and our Literacy Pittsburgh student site. So you'll have to bear with me with sharing and sharing and scaring my screen because it's a website, and almost all of this information is found on this website. And it's a really great website, but it does require a certain level of English proficiency and digital skill proficiency, which, that isn't always available to all of our students. So if you know about it and can walk them through it, or if you can refer to it for something, then that's an extra help. Okay, so we'll go to that. Well, actually, let's go now. I'll send these slides out too, and these links are all active so that, instead of you trying to, write these down and look later, you'll be able to just use the slides to go to them. So, okay. Going to stop the share and reshare so you can see the student site. So this is what it looks like. These slides here change every 2 weeks. They kind of move quickly, so you can stop them and scroll through. These are usually, well, they're announcement slides, so they're generally about things we have coming up, or reminders like this English Practice Pittsburgh events. It has a QR code here, or you can click this link to sign up. And that's I know I have so many ELL students in my area that are always saying, I love my class, I love my tutor, but I just want more time practicing speaking. So here, this is a link you can send to them and say, it's not a whole lot. It's only the last Friday of every month, but it's an hour that they can get on. And they talk about different things that are going on in Pittsburgh, which could also be great for them. So this is, well, it's out of date now, but this is an example of an announcement of something coming up. This was our service coordinators. They were doing office hours specifically to help students sign their children up for summer camps, which they can still help do. This was just specifically for that. And then there was a couple other things. So we'll go over digital skill classes in a bit, and some other things. Up here, orientation, calendar. Look at that. This is a lot. I even have a hard time looking at this calendar, but it gives you an idea of just how much other stuff we have going on. And you can click to each thing. It gives a little bit more information and who to contact. And the color coding is digital literacy or computer classes. We offer a ton of them. We'll look at those shortly too. Student services are like our social services, like caseworker kind of things. And then workforce programs, we'll talk about those. I can't see that other. I don't know what other is on here. There is no other. So forget about that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the slides. Does anybody have any questions about the site so far? Or, oh, Paul, you're good.
A quick question: Are these are open to the students?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I wouldn't mind taking Excel myself,
You
but
can actually.
I can.
Yes,
Okay,
we
good.
have all the Microsoft Office certification classes are open to everybody. A lot of the Literacy Pittsburgh staff members have taken them and gotten certified.
Yeah,
So yeah,
cool.
yeah.
All
So
right,
you
great.
can
Thank you.
For that those things, yes, you can
Great.
absolutely. We encourage you to sign up.
So do the students and the teachers have the same like passwords get in? Can we all get in, or is it do they know their password, or do they know how to get in?
There's not a password for this site.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yes, just one thing to make it easier is to not have to worry about that. Um, so okay, can you see the slide again? Okay, great. Was it Paul who said there's a lot to learn about Zoom? I still am always struggling with it. So, okay, so we'll talk about student support, the computer classes, digital skills, we call them, but you know, that digital skills doesn't always mean anything to everybody. So I just say computer classes. Workforce training and classes are exploring college classes, and then some additional classes we have for our immigrant students when they are ready for them. So student support, ISAC, which stands for Immigrant Services and Connections, is so there's a group of organizations in Pittsburgh that all serve the immigrant community. And X number of years ago, maybe 10, came together, and recognized there was a need for kind of a casework style help for immigrants in the area, because most immigrants don't qualify for the kind of, social work or casework that US born students of low income qualify for. So they came together and formed this group called ISAC. It's housed in JFNCS, which is Jewish Family and Community Services. I always want to say child service, but I think it's community services. But then all of the organizations who are a part of it have at least one full-time, I think we have two now full-time ISAC service coordinators at Literacy Pittsburgh. And then I know I have out in Carnegie, there's an ISAC service coordinator who has office hours at the library out there. And they're kind of, scattered around the Pittsburgh area. And we have them in-house. They can help with anything. And I have seen a big ramping up of need over the past few months for a lot of things, like food insecurity, food stamps, and things like that were just recently limited or completely cut off for refugees and folks who had been receiving them beforehand. If they have children, they can still get the WIC food stamps, but if they don't, then there's a lot of them are scrambling and struggling, and that's not research that you have to do. These folks and the coordinators too. At this point, I have a pretty handy list at my fingertips for food distribution and food banks and Salvation Armies and things like that. Also, healthcare needs. I recently referred a student who was unable to pay her husband's surgery bills from UPMC. They were helping her get to they have certain dates a month where you can go in and plead your case, and they will eliminate your bill and things like that. But these are things that I don't even know about. And so our immigrant students or our low income US born students, they don't have the time or the bandwidth or the knowledge for it. So our ISAC folks will help with all of those. If you have an immigrant student who is needing help with with immigration things, like they haven't gotten their work permit yet, or they're ready to apply for citizenship, the ISAC folks will get them on the right path for that. And then student services is basically the same thing as Isaac, but for our U.S. born students. This is newer than Isaac. We actually got funding for this 2 or 3 years ago because, again, we noticed a need. There is a gap between people who are low income and qualify for things like food stamps and housing assistance and having a social worker. And then, those who can provide food for their house, to pay rent, to pay utilities. And then there's this gap in between, and seems to be growing these days, of people who are struggling, even though they have a full-time job and, they may have health insurance and things like that. So our student services was really meant for those folks who, they are struggling with food and childcare, healthcare, all those things. So if you are working with an ABE student and those kind of things come up, say, do you want me to ask for help for you, have somebody call you? It also includes mental health. Both of those do. I had a tutor reach out a year or so ago and say, my student is really struggling and I feel like I'm the only person he's talking to. Is there anything that I can do or anything you can do? And I said, yes, we can, refer him to free, or low cost mental health providers and things like that. So, you don't have to be the only shoulder, the only ear to your students. Although I know sometimes like you are the person they trust, which is nice, but also can be a burden on you. So the main thing about the Isaac and the student services is that we do ask that you get consent from your student before you come to your program coordinator to refer them, which is really just like, hey, Laurel has coworkers who can help with that. Is it okay if I ask her to have them call you? We don't need to have a form or anything like that. It's just mainly so that it's for privacy reasons for the student, and also so that our Isaac, our student service folks, don't call them and they say, who are you? Why are you calling me? Just it smooths the process and makes sure that everybody's ready. And then career services, also very great. All students, and it's not just career, it's also education. They can help with school search, FAFSA, filling out FAFSA if they qualify for that. It is also one thing I see a lot of is students who come to this country and are needing to get their degree translated in, transferred over so that they can try to work in their field or continue their education in that field here, and they can help with that. The careers job seeking services are really great. They will meet with students to work on resumes, to practice for interviews, to just help them do a day one job search. Like the things like going to the right website, creating a LinkedIn profile, all that kind of stuff, which, you can help your student with if you want, but it's also, not your main thing you want to be spending your time with. So we've got folks that can help with that. And the best way to get students in front of our career advisors is in their open office hours, which is posted monthly on the student website. So I'm going to unshare and reshare again. Okay, so this is under the jobs. And down here is when you can see, let's see if I can make that a little bit bigger, the drop-in hours. I send students to this all the time. It is kind of a pain to go downtown. Not my favorite thing either, but our office is right by a pretty main bus stop, and there's street parking around and things like that. But this is the quickest and easiest way to get in front of a career services advisor, and they're really great, and they spend a lot of time with students, and they'll make appointments for them to come back, and they'll do a whole series of meetings with them. And um, yeah, I'll see a post on Instagram about a student that I referred to them 2 months ago getting like a full-time job with UPMC, and I'm like, oh gosh, that's what happened there. So yes, they're such a great resource. um, and this does change month to month. It generally is, so it looks like maybe somebody's on vacation or something, but it will usually be about the same every week. So,
Quick question here.
yes,
Well,
please.
on that uh, career counseling and whatever else they offer there, I take it from the schedule that there's no opportunity for online services,
We
which
use
which uh, which would be unfortunate, but that's the way it is.
they used to have online drop-in office hours. I'm not sure why they don't anymore. Lindsay, if you know.
I think that the AmeriCorps member was doing online, and then AmeriCorps is not around anymore. So I think that might be the reason, but it might be worth like reaching out to Rebecca and asking if at least.
Yeah, I'm making a note right now because that's something I think about pretty regularly too, because I have a lot of students that, especially because they're during the day and maybe they're working a day job, but they're wanting to
Yeah.
find another job. So that just doesn't work for them. We do have a referral system, but it is a pretty long wait. Like it can be like if I put in a referral for a student today, um, they might not get an appointment with one of our advisors for a couple months. So I try to encourage them to go to office hours.
So that referral system that you're talking about, what is it referral for what?
For an appointment with the career services advisor, and they can do those on Zoom.
So, oh, okay. So for a one-on-one,
Yeah, yeah,
it's possible, but otherwise you go downtown.
yes.
And the one-on-ones are a long wait. Uh,
The one going downtown for office hours
Typically
will be
30 to,
one-on-one as well.
pardon me?
The office hours downtown, they do meet one-on-one.
Yes, I understand, but they are
Zoom.
downtown. And so for online, you're saying it's typically 30 to 60 days before they would, okay, I
Yeah,
understand.
I wish it was different, but I think that also speaks to how much time they really do spend with each student. Once they do get with them, it's not like let's do a quick job search, fill out some like applications, and you go. They really do spend a lot of time with the students that they are meeting with. So
Yeah, well, perhaps it's based on the need, and perhaps you guys haven't found a real need for the, online to bump it up in terms of importance and put more staff on that. So, I understand.
I would
It's
imagine that the online became an issue because you can't do online and in person at the same time. I've ran events like that, and trying to do both at the same time with only one person feels a little impossible at times. So that could also very well be a reason of, they want to be able to serve students, but they don't want to be just sitting on Zoom for an hour when no one's going to show up, when they could also just be in their office helping people that are at downtown. I would imagine maybe that's part of it a little bit too. So I'm not sure.
yeah, I've wondered about it also because I've spent time and energy talking students into trying to go downtown to go to office hours. So I've made a note, and that's definitely something, like you said, Lindsay, I'll throw that out there. Like, this is still a need. Like, what can we do? So, yes, thank you for that. Okay, let me go back to the slides. So, any other questions about the student support that we offer, Isaac Student Services, Career Services? Everybody's good? Okay. All right, digital skills. This is something that is really great, but I find it to be very fast and furious. They change classes outside of a couple of the more advanced ones, like the Excel one, Paul, and things like that, that there are new classes every month. And like I said before, I work full time here and I have a hard time keeping up with the schedule. I have a few students who are really into the computer classes and they get the emails and they sign themselves up. But that's just not something that every student is capable of doing. I mean, it's hard for me to, there are times where I can look at the schedule, send like a message a group of students and say, hey, here's some classes coming up, let me know if you're interested, but that doesn't always happen. I wish I had time to do it every month, but I'm glad now we'll have more people in the know. So this is just the calendar that we looked at before. So we do have a lot of online digital skills classes. We also have them in person downtown and then at a couple community locations, including Homewood, Brushton, CCA campus, and I think CareerLink downtown, and maybe CareerLink down in Beaver too. I'm not 100%. That changes also. And it's everything from like super, super basic to the advanced certifications that are things that you can put on your resume and, they're the real deal certifications. The monthly calendar comes from this email. And I think the best way to get it on that monthly email is to just send an email to it asking. But I'll show you what that looks like so you have an idea of how it comes across. Just get in here. Okay, so here is the March digital skills calendar. Oh, that's weird. I lost my cursor. Okay, I have it back. All right. Let me share again. Okay. So this is what the monthly digital skills email looks like. So what we have downtown this month is the digital skills orientation, which is a great thing if your student is able to go downtown to that, because it's an overview of the classes we offer. Intro to Zoom, Open Lab, Typing Club, which is also really great if you have a student who's just struggling to learn how to use their laptop or they want to learn how to type. I mean, a lot of the AHN and UPMC like desk jobs, customer service jobs, they require a typing test. Like they have to show that they can type at a certain speed. So, if they're looking to go in and use a typing program on one of our computers and things like that, that's a good time to go. PA Career Link downtown, Intro to Windows. That's a 6-session one, so I think that's twice a week. And okay, Allegheny East, and then Carnegie Lab Rip Homestead. And then the virtual classes, Internet 2.0, Intro to Microsoft Excel, Intermediate. And then there's the Google Career Certificate info session, which that's another one that's open to anyone. Staff members can take it, tutors can take it, and those are a wide variety of different. I feel like the last time I looked at it, there were things about AI. I don't know, Lindsay, do you?
Yeah, the one I saw that I thought was kind of interesting was like universal design, like UX kinds of things. There's a bunch of them, and they're
Yeah,
all free, and they're self-paced, so you can kind of just take them as you're able to work on them.
yeah. Yeah. So then there's the job seeking workshops that are really great too. And those are usually just a 1 or 2 time thing. So
Do any of these include coding? Like you mentioned the UX, is that a coding kind of thing,
I would,
Lindsay?
oh God,
I'm not sure.
Okay.
that would be, um, if we do have it, it would be in the Google career because our digital skills, like in-house digital skills, are not at that level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
more the basics and Microsoft Office and then some work related career stuff. But
Very good.
um, let me see here. And okay, can you see the PDF or did that go? Are you still looking at the email?
Um, PDF isn't open yet.
Okay, I just need to unshare, reshare. Okay. And so this was the PDF that's attached. And it gives a little bit more about them. Oh, and the days and times. These kind of, so here's the Google Career Certificate info session. And then these are when they are. And I think, yeah, that's virtual. So, I mean, you could sign up with your student or you could sign up just for your own curiosity. And right here is, you can call or text this number, or you can just email and say, I'm interested in this class. And being on this monthly email is really helpful. I was completely in the dark until I got on it about a year ago. I mean, I knew we had classes and where to find them, but getting this in my inbox monthly helps a lot. It's a good reminder that, and especially because every once in a while, I'll see a student and they'll say, I really want to work on computers or I want to get my computer skills better. And then it's kind of like, oh, yeah, I can help you with that. We have classes. So, okay. Let's go back
Laurel,
to,
I'm just putting a link to a flyer about the Google Career Certificates
ooh,
in the chat.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, if anybody wants to open that and save it or have it open for later. Okay, so let's go back to slides. And does anybody have any questions about the digital skills classes? Mary, if you said something, I missed it, or you're muted. Or was it just saying that you don't have any questions?
Yes, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just gonna send this information to my students so she can sign up for the monthly, for the emails as well.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
great. I know. I wish we sent them to everybody automatically, but we already send so much stuff
Yes.
that, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like if they sign up and they know it's coming, that's different. So, okay.
Thanks. It's good.
All right. So next, supplemental workforce skills classes and workshops. These are something that I struggle to keep track of because a lot of these are things that we partner with other organizations on. And so the schedules are different often for each one of these kind of classes. Um, our guru of workforce classes, Vince, he is completely on top of it. And we rely on him to stay organized and know what's coming. But I do know these are classes that are being offered for second quarter, so April through June. Just to give you an idea, some of them still have spaces. I know QuickBooks is really popular, especially since we are like the only people in town who offer that free I
Wow.
used to, I helped a student sign up for a career link QuickBooks course a few years ago, and it was in the thousands. I think she was able to apply for like a reduced fee, but they're expensive and it's such a good skill to have. So they often fill up very quickly. But if you email Vince, which I don't know if I have, Lindsay, would you mind putting his email in the chat? I don't
Yeah.
know if I have it on here and I can include it later, but just in case we want it right now. Vince De Stefano, he will say, oh, thank you for your interest. We're full, or there's a wait list. He can put your student on the wait list, and then he'll come back around for the next time we offer it. So, um, Immigrant Workforce Program is a program that we do with Jewish Family and Community Services. And it's been a really successful program. It's been going on for several years, and it's just kind of basic English and job skills and vocabulary and just more work focused, career focused, job focused kind of English practice. And students can do this along with working with you for tutoring, like QuickBooks One, the Microsoft Excel certification. Customer service is for both ABE and immigrant students. And that's also a certificate that different organizations like to see. It's just kind of one of those, like, I've taken this service skills class. I'm not going to be rude to people, that's, boiled down. Some other things that we have that we aren't offering next quarter, but we do math for the trades. We work with Builders Guild and APRI on kind of getting folks who are interested in going into the trade unions ready for those exams, because at least one of them is a math exam, and it's very specific math. It's not what you're studying for the GED. It has more to do with, actually applicable math for, different trades. Paul, did you have a question?
Yeah, so this would be math, for example, for taking a test to get into an apprenticeship program?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah. And then we have other Microsoft Office certifications that we do at other times, Word, PowerPoint, that kind of stuff. So that's another thing that, it's like, it's good to know, and you have to kind of just keep an eye out for it. So these I pulled from the announcement slides on the student website. These are a couple upcoming information sessions. The best place to find them are those slides that are updated every 2 weeks, the little box that's on the home page of the student site. And we've got a CCAC information session coming up, and then also a career panel with corporate mentors. I couldn't tell from the slide if it was online. I think it is. I believe so, which also reminds me, we have a mentorship program for students who are looking for, oh, there's somebody coming in, who are maybe very specifically looking for a certain career path. I don't know as much about it. I don't know if Lindsay, if you know more. It's when we often have volunteers who say, I have a background in law, or I have a background in medicine or finance, and it would be great to work with somebody to help them along on this path. And then if we get a student who is, saying the same thing, or, was in the healthcare field in their home country and is needing help with the exams and things with that, we will put them together as kind of a mentorship, but it's very case by case. So I don't know if Lindsay, you know more. Sorry, I
Yeah.
asked.
That's all I really know is it's very I don't think it's anything like super formalized. It's just kind of like if we hear someone and then like a perfect match kind of thing.
Yeah. But if you do have a student who's very much like, I want to get involved with coding, I want to get involved in computer science, let your program coordinator know and they can, kind of put the feelers out there with the person who runs that program and see what's available. All right. So exploring college classes. This is our newest kind of department at Literacy Pittsburgh. It came about because we had a lot of folks who were either finishing the GED or were, immigrant students who were wanting to go to university, but kind of just needed a little bit more scaffolding. That they weren't as savvy as far as the kind of work that they were going to need to do getting to at once they got to university, and things like that. And so we put together this program. It's run by our coworker Miguel. He's really great. It's usually a fairly small cohort of students going through it, so they get to know each other. They get a lot of like really great help from the instructors and from Miguel. So I'll pull up. Um, this is also going to the student site, tells you a little bit more about what these classes are like. So, stop share. Okay. So this is under college. And they aren't all offered every quarter. This is something that if you feel like your student would benefit, or like Mary, if your student is, starting to work her way through her GED and is past a couple of sections and is thinking about doing post-secondary, this would be a great option for them. So this is class description. This is they do a lot about with admissions, and they bring in people to talk about financial aid, placement exams, all that kind of stuff that your guidance counselor probably, if you were going straight from high school, likely you had a guidance counselor, or your parents, if they went to college. I mean, if you're first generation, then you may be figuring this stuff out on your own. Or if you are an immigrant student who went to university or had started university in your home country, things are very different here. So this is a good option for them. I do have to say that, well, and I guess if an immigrant student is thinking about going to university, they know they have to have a certain level of English. There's an exam that they have to take. It's called the TOEFL, that is specifically for university English, that just tells them and the admissions people that they're ready for it. They don't want to admit somebody who's just going to completely not, be able to handle the work. So this is a great one. And you can take these in any order. So if it's not offered, right, you don't have to start with the first one, I believe. So this would be like, this is if you're just thinking about it. I mean, even if, a student is like, well, maybe I want to do a trade, or, maybe I just want to work for a little while. They could be interested in taking this. They're not very long classes, not very time consuming, free, of course. So class 2 is a little bit more in depth, talking about doing, everything, expectations and norms, writing, giving presentations. Writing for college is something that we just kind of retooled, and it's going to be in person. And this is great because, like, if you're teaching GED, like the RLA, that it's those, what they expect for that. I mean, that's kind of what they expect in college. And a lot of the students, even if they have a high school diploma or they pass the GED, they are not near ready for the kind of writing that they'll need in college. So this is like a heavy writing prep class. And yeah, drafting revision, all that good stuff. And so here is Miguel's information. And he is always happy to answer questions about any of it. Even things like, this is where my student is, and what is this an appropriate class for them? He'll get back to you. He's really great. So, okay. Any questions about the college classes, or well, the getting ready for college classes? Everybody's good there. Okay, so okay. So the last slide is some additional things we offer for our immigrant students. Academic English, which is another good option for specifically immigrant students who are looking to get back to university or go to university. Is with the teacher, Amanda, who's fantastic. She's been teaching this class for years. And they do things that are, it's a lot, there's some overlap with the Exploring College class, but this focuses a lot on, the ESL things that are needed, like the TOEFL exam and things like that. Like I hear a lot from tutors saying, my student wants to take the TOEFL, what do I do? Because there's a whole nother set of, different things, that books and textbooks and study guides and things like that. And sometimes the best thing to do is say, Amanda's academic English class is where you want to send them. It's like kind of, you can move them to this next step. And she's really great. And I believe that her full class is about 12 weeks, and they do like different topics at different times. So if a student ends up starting later, they can just continue through the next 12 weeks until they've covered everything. Business English is professional English. I know a lot of students who come here specifically to work in a professional situation, like they are in a lab at Pitt, or they're an engineer working with X corporation, and they are like, my colleagues don't understand me, or I'm confused about the culture of this workplace, and this is a really good class for them. It's not just regular old English. It's really very specifically for like a professional workplace. And then citizenship, of course, which I think, Paul, you've done. And that is something that tutors can do, but we do have a couple classes taught by our professional teachers. And I know at least the one surely does have some open office hours. If you have a student who has a test coming up and needs a little extra support, that is a good option. And then the English practice is the one that is the every Friday or last Friday of the month for that. So those are all out there. And I know this is a lot of information. I have it in front of me all the time, and I find it overwhelming, and I forget about it at times when I wish I had remembered about it. But I feel like the more of us who are in the know, the less likely, the better we are to serve the students. And like I said before, like your program coordinator is still your first contact. They, even if you're like, I remember I joined this tutor talk and she was talking about something, 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 just email them and they will, text them or however you communicate, and they'll help you to get on the right track. So I think, yes, that is all I had. I will send these slides out so that you can use the links on them to get to the different parts of the student site. Instead of, trying to fumble your way through it and all that stuff. And again, there's no password. So what questions or concerns, or if you have an example or anything like that you want to
I
share?
just think it's super helpful. I knew that there were resources. Crystal had mentioned that, but when you're just kind of trying to do, go through the book and do what you have to do, you really don't. I really didn't even realize all these things were on here. And for my student, it's tremendous because she's in a situation where she's already in the healthcare industry as a caregiver.
Mhm.
She gets this GED. She wants to get her CNA, which should be pretty easy for her because she's already hands-on. And then she was talking about nursing school, So if they're, especially if they have somebody that could work with her directly, like a mentor who could just say, okay, you might want to try ABC, or you might want to look into this, that, or the other. I think that would be a phenomenal resource, and everything on there. And I'm taking some of those advanced Excel classes myself.
That's great. They'll be so excited to see you. I know our digital
Great.
skills people, yeah, they're
Mhm.
wonderful. And also, I didn't put this on this because put this on the slides because it's something that tends to come and go. We do work directly with UPMC and sometimes AHN. Like they have
Wow.
programs where it's like a work to school kind of a thing for CNAs and nursing. So
Okay.
that's something that Vince would be managing as well. So
Okay.
just keep that on the back burner.
All right. Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
what's Vince's name? I'm just going to put it down here. Like, how would I
Vince,
contact Vince?
Vince
Is his name
DiStefano.
on one of those links?
He is, and
I
he's
put his email in the chat.
Okay.
yeah. Can you see? Um, Yeah, Vince DeStefano at literacypittsburgh.org. And also, if you are on the student site and you click on something in the workforce area, it will come up as
Okay.
contact him. So
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. Or you can just say, send something to your coordinator and be like, who's this Vince guy? I need his email.
All right.
All
Got it.
right.
Thanks.
Laurel, I have a quick question. Are you familiar? I think they're located out in your area. St. Francis um, Institute or something like that does immigrant work. You haven't heard of them? I just wondered if Pittsburgh Literacy was affiliated with them at all. They have house they have I guess halfway houses or whatever. I'm not quite sure.
Is that Holy
And
Family?
Holy Family,
Okay. I am
yes.
familiar with them. They are part of our immigrant
Okay, good.
collaboration. Yes, it is actually a student that I've known for a while, and I just met with her last night for a post test. She's from Puerto Rico, and she's a full-time child clinician there. So
Okay,
yeah, so we work with them in many ways. She comes to us because she's
good.
working on taking her exam to become a bilingual practitioner.
I also have a student who is working for Holy Family. She does their computer work, and she lives here in the building. So I'll pass that on.
Yeah, we do work with them. They're a great organization. I think, well, at least where the children are, it's kind of like north more. I don't know what their other look. They probably have other locations, but I know she works kind of like Camp Horn Roadish,
Okay,
Swickley, something
great.
like that. So yeah,
Thank
they're
you.
part of that group. Anybody else have questions or something they wanted to share? Or if Lindsay, I missed something completely.
No, I think you covered it all. I've been doing some of those college and career pathways surveys, so you basically covered everything that's in those.
Okay, great. All right. Well, that I did not time that out beforehand, but we're coming in right at like exactly 1 hour. And I will be, or we will be uploading this to our YouTube channel probably in the next week. So if you know other tutors and they missed this, tell them to look out for it. Or if you would just want to review it. Or if Meryl, I know you joined a little bit late, you'll be able to catch up to the beginning. All right. Well, have a great afternoon, everybody.
Thank you so much
for your time.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.